guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today what we're going to be doing is a makeup tutorial, and you guys notice the lighting is a little bit different. My ring light finally came in and I gotta say I'm loving it. I don't know how I've been doing YouTube and beauty stuff for as long as I have without one. They are a little bit pricey, but like, I'm obsessed. You guys can already tell the quality of this video is so much better. I'm just really excited. And for today's makeup tutorial, I decided to use the Morphe 35O palette. It came back in stock 2 weeks ago. I thought that people would start getting their palettes in, so why not film a tutorial using one so maybe you guys can come up with some looks, or if you don't have the 35O, there's so many brands that sell single shadows like this, and also Morphe also sells these in single shadows, I'm pretty sure. So this is what the palette looks like. As you guys see, it's like literally my heaven. Warm tones. I mean, some cool tones, but mostly warm tones. And it's gorgeous. You guys did not get your hands on it. I don't know if it's still in stock. If it is, I will link it in my description bar down below. So that's all that I have to say. I love you guys, and if you guys want to see how to achieve this makeup look, then just keep watching. So you guys thought this video was going to be a little bit different, but it's not. We're going to be taking Peach Smoothie from Makeupgeek, and we're going to be using a 224 from MAC, and we're just going to be using this as our transition shade. Like I said before, it doesn't matter what palette I'm using, what shadows I'm using. This shadow is always going to be in my crease as a transition color. It's just closest to my skin tone. I love warm colors. Even if I'm doing a cool toned look, I will always go in with this first. Starting with a transition shade makes it super easy to blend out shadows later on, especially if you're doing dark colors. Even if you're doing light colors, you want like that seamless blend, so always transition colors. Alright, so now we're taking the Morphe Brushes 35O palette, and I'm taking this cranberry warm shade, and we're going to be using a MAC 217 and applying this first in our outer corner, and then we're going to be bringing that all the way through. So I'm building up the pigmentation of this. I love Morphe Brushes shadows. I think that they're a great quality for the price that they're at. They're like $2 a single shadow. I think it was 20 something for this whole entire palette. There's like 5 rows of multiple colors, and I'm obsessed with this. So now we're just taking this warm shade that kind of looks like Peach Smoothie, and we're just going to blend out the edges of this orange shade because it was getting a little too like harsh for me. So I just wanted to blend that out to make sure that it's like a nice gradient from dark to light. So this is really similar to Peach Smoothie, except I think it's a little bit darker than that. And like I was saying about this palette, guys, it is so good. I don't think that they're as good as Makeupgeek, but they're good for $2. And now we're taking this same shade, but it's a little bit darker. So the first shade we used is really similar to this one, except this one is darker. And I'm taking it on a pencil brush and just deepening up the crease. I really want some depth in this outer corner, since we're going to have a really highlighted inner corner. I want there to be that light in the inner corner, dark in the outer corner, super contrast. I just love the way that that looks, and I like myself a really defined crease. I don't think I've ever done a look that doesn't have a defined crease, I mean, to be totally honest with you guys. And now we're just taking a little bit more of that transition shade, and we're blending out the warm shade. So I'm just kind of going in and blending as we go. And now we're taking Americano from Makeupgeek. I know I had to use some Makeupgeek shades. There wasn't a really dark color that I liked that was warm in this palette, because I want to keep this a pretty warm look. And I'm taking the same pencil brush, and I'm focusing this just on that outer corner for some more depth. You're going to have to layer colors. That's how you're going to get some depth in your eyes. Lighter, darker, the more colors you use, the more depth you're going to see. And now we're just taking this 217 with nothing on it, and we're going to be blending out the edges. I really go back and forth so many times to blend. And now we're taking that inner quarter color, which reminds me so much of In the Spotlight from Makeupgeek. So this is a great dupe for that if you guys didn't want to spend $6 on that, or $9, however much that is. This palette has that shade in it. I'm pretty sure Morphe sells all of these shades singly. I'm not 100% sure, but you guys can definitely check, but I'm pretty sure they do. And now we're just taking the 217 and blending where the inner corner shadow meets the outer corner, because it really does leave such a stark line, and I don't like that at all. So now we're going to be taking their Real Mascara and just applying some mascara before lashes. Like I said before, you have to apply mascara before, or you're going to cut down the life of your lashes. And then we're going to be applying some Duo Lash Glue on the lashes. You guys know, best lash glue, smells like fish. Alright, so I didn't apply my lashes on camera again. Whoops, sorry guys. And now we're going to be taking my two favorite primers, MakeupForever Step 1 Equalizer and Smoothing. And I use this one first to fill in my pores. I don't use this one to keep me matte because it doesn't. So I use it just to fill in my pores and smooth out my skin. And then I take the Becca Evermatte Primer, which keeps me so matte. And I'll just apply that in my T-zone area. And it really absorbs my oil. And now we're taking the Sephora Tint Infusion Foundation in the number 20. And I'm just taking my finger and dotting it all over my skin first. Like I said before, I feel like this is the best way to apply foundation so you're not ending with so much on your skin. And you're not going to be packing it into your brush and you're wasting product. So now I'm just dotting it all over my face and starting to blend it in with the Sigma F80 Flat Top Kabuki. I want you guys to watch how this just makes my skin look so airbrush. This is my favorite brush. I don't know if you guys own it. It's literally on everyone's like list of favorites. Every YouTuber, I swear to God, has always mentioned this brush, but I mean, look at what it's doing to my skin. Obviously, it's so worth it. So I just kind of like swirl my brush in circular motions and buff this into my skin because I want it to mesh with it. I want my skin to start absorbing the product and I want it to just look like a second layer of skin. I don't want it to look like there's like this whole layer of product and it feels like a mask and looks like a mask. You guys don't want that either because that just looks too obvious that you're wearing foundation. And this one isn't that heavy coverage. I mean, this is definitely a solid medium, but as you guys see that little pimple on my forehead, it still shows through. So it just kind of takes away the redness and I like that. I don't want like a full caked face. That's just not what I prefer. I mean, if you guys do, that is perfectly okay. So now we're taking the Bare Skin Bare Minerals Concealer. And this is my favorite part of any makeup look, concealing my under eyes, because as you see, you go from hot or not too hot. I love concealing my under eyes. I just feel like it makes the look. I love highlighting. I like the contrast between the contouring and the highlighting. Ugh, I'll always contour and highlight. So now we're just going to take a clean beauty blender, which I haven't cleaned mine in ages, but this is freshly clean, thank God. And we're just going to be blending that in lightly, with the lightest amount of pressure. You don't need to beat your face with the beauty blender. I mean, you can if you want. I have many times, but light pressure will blend it in just fine. So as you guys see, it just covers all of that darkness and it cancels out it all without having to like cancel it out first. So now we're just blending all the rest of the highlight in. You want to make sure your highlight is even everywhere or it's just going to look kind of stark white under your eyes. Now we're just going to set it with Maybelline's translucent powder, which is my favorite, guys. Yeah, and it doesn't leave that stark white. So it's got like a little tint to it. It's not like a white powder, which I love because when you take flash photography, which I noticed this weekend, it does not give you that foundation flashback. Your skin looks like it does in person, which I love because I've tried many translucent powders that when you take flash photography, I literally look like Casper the Friendly Ghost. And I'm not even kidding, like white. So I'm glad this one doesn't do it. And now I have to set the rest of my face. If I don't set my foundation, it literally will peel off like a mask. And now we're going to be taking the Anastasia Contour Kit and the shades Fawn and Java and mixing them together on the brush and contouring my face. So I'm contouring and bronzing kind of at the same time. I'm using the Fawn shade as the contour, the more cool tone, and then I'm using Java as that warm shade to kind of bronze up. I feel like it's so easy to kind of just do it in one step instead of contouring and then bronzing. I think that this just does it really nicely. It's not too orange and it's not too cool. It's just a nice mixture on my cheeks and it warms me up and I don't look one-dimensional anymore. And now we're going to contour my forehead. Just keep going over that pimple. I mean, make it more obvious. And you guys know I love contouring my forehead. I say it in literally every video because bitch needs it. And then my other favorite part, I love cutting my contour. So I'm just taking the translucent powder and I'm making a sharp line. If you guys want to see a full highlight contour baking routine, let me know in the comments down below and I can definitely film one of those for you. I just love cutting my contour and baking underneath. I think it just makes everything look so clean and so precise, and it's my favorite. So now we're taking Sigma's Blush in Heavenly, and this is just a warm blush. I didn't even mean to make this a full warm tutorial, but I just love a subtle blush, and this one is probably one of my favorite. And now we're going to be taking Champagne Pop by Jaclyn Hill and Becca Cosmetics. I have not used this in so long, and it's my absolute favorite highlight. Do you guys see how it just gives you that subtle glow. But I mean, you can take it top notch, which you guys will see that I do. But I like that it's subtle and it just makes you look like you're glowing from within and not like you just have like glitter all over your cheeks, which I can't stand. I feel like I like it to be like just a glow from within, like you're just beaming. And now we're going to be wiping away that translucent powder after we let it sit. And then I'm just going to be blending that in because I hate having a harsh line. I feel like it's so unflattering, so make sure to blend. And now we're going to be taking a Sigma E21 brush, and we're just using the same shades that we used in the top portion of our eye, and completing the eye by blending out the bottom. I feel like if you do this, it really completes it and it really makes the eye look just come together. So we're just taking all of the shades in this pencil brush to blend everything out. As you guys see, compared to the other eye, it just doesn't look complete. So make sure to always apply something, if anything, on your lower lash line. And just taking this big fluffy brush and a little bit of that shade from the Morphe 35O and blending it out. And guys, sorry for all these crazy faces that I make, but we all make these makeup faces. Sometimes when I'm watching my tutorials, I'm like, oh my god, like, am I the only one who makes these faces? And then I'm like, no, there's no way. So now we're going to be applying some mascara on the lower lash line, and this is the Voluminous Carbon Black from L'Oreal. You guys know I ranted and raved about this in my favorites video. It's just beautiful. Do you see what it does for my lower lashes? It just makes them thick and fluffy and not like long and spidery, which I don't have time for long and spidery lashes. I think that's super unflattering. So we're just taking this and going from the root and wiggling out to extend my lashes. And now we're taking this liquid lipstick from Kat Von D in Bow and Arrow. And it's really similar to Lime Crime Cashmere, but I mean, we all know Lime Crime, so I mean, I'm not going to bring anything up, but I will not be purchasing from them. So this is the closest shade I have found. It's really similar to Sepia also, but I swatched these two next to each other, and Sepia is a lot darker. So this one is more of like a brownish gray, and Sepia is more of like a gray. So I think this is something you can wear every day. It does not look crazy on the lips. I think it's more of like a pinky nude like a brownie nude than anything, and I really loved how this looked with this entire look. It just pulled it all together. It was something neutral on the lips, which was definitely needed. So that is all that I have for this video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. I love you guys, and don't forget to subscribe.